This is another episode of the Flight Ringers podcast. I'm David King. That's Dan Spottswood.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
We are professional cartoonists, and we are Legion of Superheroes experts. Didn't drink enough. I had a bunch of coffee and a Baja Blast today, and then I drank the ice from the Baja Blast. But this is like the first glass of clear water I've had, I think.
So do you just get shit at Taco Bell, or do you go there specifically for the Baja?
No, I got
just want the Baja Blast.
I got a bunch of food too. But supposedly they're going to start selling Baja Blast in the grocery store.
Just now? Like, they've had that for decades, right?
No, it's been exclusive to Taco Bell. I think maybe once or twice they've released it into the stores for
some special edition.
Yeah.
Make a run for the border.
Or the grocery store.
I don't think they use that slogan anymore.
I don't think no. I don't know that they have they don't have Yo Quiero Taco Bell either. That was even after Run for the Border. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what they do now. I just eat the shit. I don't watch the commercials. Mm-hmm. They've got me. They don't need to advertise to me.
So fucking dumb. Is that the Secret Origins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at that a couple minutes ago.
Like they told me that you could buy it this month or whatever, the same month as 45, yeah. And I was like, I looked it up on comics.org and I'm like, oh, it's another origin of the Legion in this.
Right.
I totally forgot about it. But then I did remember the Rick Stassi. This is the one thing that Rick Stassi ever drew.
Did the inside of
Kansas City's own Rick Stassi.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we had Steve Lytle too.
Oh, that's true. But this is like one hit wonder Rick Stassi.
Yeah, yeah. I think he might have done a Barbie comic or something.
That sounds right, I guess. Yeah, like that there was a Marvel Barbie comic for a long time, right?
Yeah. When before comics got super cool.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, like the conventions now are in huge convention halls that normally have like the Big 12 basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Like Kemper Arena. But before they used to be in very, very small places like the Jack Ruderton Civic Center, old buildings like that. And every single year when I was growing up, it was always Rick Stassi and Steve Lytle. They were the two big guests.
I remember that too. I remember Rick Stassi more than Steve Lytle. Like when I'd see the flyers, I never went to him because I lived too far away or whatever. But yeah. When I'd see the flyers, Stassi was at more of them than Lytle was.
I never talked to him, but I did talk to Lytle a bunch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, take what you can get.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to be really famous.
And somewhere along the line, Phil Hester started showing up. He's from here too. He's really good. I don't know if you know who he is. He did Swamp Thing, like in the Vertigo days.
Oh,
okay, then he got comic famous anyway in the comic world for doing, he did like Green Arrow, like some reboot of Green Arrow with Kevin Smith.
Oh, okay.
This is like 20 years ago, but yeah, he did that.
I guess this art in the Secret Origins isn't bad. Kind of bland.
Yeah, it has there's kind of an interesting twist in the story with the storyteller.
This is Archie Brand telling people the origin of the Legion while he's like disappearing from the face of the earth or something.
Yeah, like I think he's been out of the comic for a while. Like he disappeared and nobody knows where he is or if he's alive or what.
I actually like this artwork. Who is this? Oh, it's Dick Giordano. That's why.
Which one is that?
The Secret Origins has inks by Dick Giordano.
Okay. I think we're looking at some Giordano inks and some artwork today.
Yeah, I was looking at the comics.org for 45, and I think those credits are out of whack and wrong. Basically, comics.org says DeCarlo inked the whole issue except for the...
Mike Grell.
No, they credit DeCarlo as inking Mike Grell, but it's obviously Giordano doing that.
It's Giordano, for sure. Like Grell insisted on it. But did you see... Just to see if our credits line up, did Giordano draw 49 through 55?
I don't think that's right.
Okay.
The thing I read said that Giordano penciled the big pinup on the last couple pages.
Okay.
And that was inked by DeCarlo, but I don't think so. To me, that looks like LaRocque and DeCarlo.
Yeah, this looks like LaRocque. 49 through 55.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that Giordano penciled that.
Yeah.
God, this is a big-ass comic book.
Yeah. Didn't seem like we got a lot of these thicker ones on the Baxter paper. Probably because they were already more expensive and they were worried people weren't going to buy them if they were extra thick. There weren't a lot of those books that switched to the fancy format, wouldn't have annuals for a while. Ooh, he's got 2.
No, you know what this is? This is a flyer.
Oh.
It's like that Flight Ring Village thing, but it's exactly the cover.
Wow.
It even has a $2.95 cover price on it. Cool. And then inside, it's got some ad copy, and it tells you can buy Who's Who in the Legion #1.
Oh, right. It was all kind of coinciding.
Yeah, like this is a big-ass month for Legion stuff for the 30th anniversary.
You know, I meant to send it to you. Like a 4 or 5 page Paul Levitz interview from Comic Scene from this time, and he's promoting this issue.
Oh.
And it's pretty cool. It has a lot of good artwork, and it was actually one of the things I saw. Like, I read it when it came out, and it helped prompt me to see what was going on with the contemporary Legion.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of try to look up Legion stuff in those old comics magazines, but it's not a lot of them are scanned, and like not a lot of them have like the table of contents online that you can find and stuff like that. So I just don't know.
I found some of it online on the the Internet Archive.
Yeah, I've been trying to find an issue of Comics Buyer's Guide that has like some 5 years later type of stuff in it. There's like 5 of those scanned on archive, and that's it. Out of, I don't know, that thing ran for like 1,700 issues or something because it was weekly.
Right.
But there's only a handful of them online anywhere.
Was it, I'm mixing it up. Is that the one that was a newspaper format?
Yeah.
It's probably kind of makes it a bitch to scan, maybe. Are they bigger?
Oh, yeah, probably so. Yeah. I would have thought somebody would want to do it. I mean, maybe there's just not articles in it. Well, there is, though. I think it's like
there are.
It's mostly like listings of what comes out every week, I think, but then some articles, right? But yeah, I don't know that there's any online archive really that even says what's in every issue. Just you look at the Legion stuff, the Legion like websites, and they're like, yeah, there's this CBG that has a Chris Sprouse cover or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I want that, but can't even buy back issues of it anywhere or scans of it.
There's just nothing, huh?
Yeah.
What the hell?
But anyway, what did you say this was? Comic Scene that had something about this?
I actually have the issue.
Oh, cool.
Coverless, but it's actually super valuable now, more valuable than any of the other issues because
weird.
It's technically the first appearance of Venom, because they have an interview with like Michelin and McFarlane, and they're kind of a preview of their run, like right before issue 300, I think, is where Venom first shows up in comic. But this is his first appearance in print.
Wow. You got to get that slabbed.
Yeah, I couldn't find it for a while, and I was just going to get another one on eBay. And of course, I started seeing $100. What the fuck? But I found it. But no cover. So yours is only worth like $50. Yeah. But it's funny. It has had such a impact on me, because I noticed it shows several covers, and all the covers are the ones I think of as being like iconic issues. I only think it because those are the ones they picked to put in there.
Oh, like, yeah, it imprinted on you that these are the iconic ones. Right.
But, I mean, some of them are indisputably iconic, but...
like they're all McFarlane ones?
No. I'm switching over to... I'm talking about...
back to the Legion issue.
I wonder if I can make it so you can see this.
Oh, yeah, what a spread. Great Darkness Saga, 247. Yeah, those are all some good ones.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, then it has...
Karate Kid. Fuck yes. What's that black and white drawing that's on the next page? Oh, The Wanderers. That's why.
And up in the corner, that's a black and white page from issue we're looking at.
Oh, okay. LaRocque page?
Yeah, it's LaRocque.
Yeah, it's late in the issue, right? When they have
I think it's early. I think it's when he's getting loose in the prison. And there's some Grell there, and I think that's Curt Swan up there on the top, and then a picture of Levitz
Now, does that Grell page?
Mm-hmm.
It has some weird paste up shit happening on it in the comic, in the printed one. Like, it's like a photostat of the head at the bottom on the left side and on the right side. It's a photostat of the same like Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl making out.
Yeah.
Is that what that looks like, or is it before they made that change?
They look identical.
Okay.
Maybe he planned that all along. I have no idea.
No, I think they had to do some kind of weird post-production thing where they...
It's because right here, they were showing Lightning Lad with a boner. And they had to put it... You can tell he really enjoyed drawing these pages.
Well, yeah, those pages are weird. Like, they're wearing these weird, like, stringy black swimsuits, everybody in it. And
yeah, he's like wearing a thong, and they're space fucking, and
yeah, like, do you think that Grell drew everyone naked, and then Dick Giordano's like, nah, we got to put swimsuits on these, and he just like got like just a little inking brush and went to put like 3 strips onto each person to cover up all their parts.
There's that scene where they're like, oh, we better go help them with Earth War, but we can like fuck on the way.
Oh yeah.
They're like flying through space.
No, totally. The whole thing is them screwing and like being naked and like hooking up with each other, and they're like in a weird space nudist honeymoon retreat or something.
Right.
But that thing where they photostated their heads on the same, like parallel to each other, I think it's because they had to paste in the weird planets alignment crap that somebody else drew, because that's the exact same thing all the way throughout the issue, pretty much.
Right.
Like, I compared them, from on each page, and it's like the exact same weird, like, crucifix of white star power, and they rotated it on one of them,
I'm looking for that.
But then they just had to paste it up into the Grell pages where he didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a little surgery on that sequence.
Does Mike DeCarlo just suck, or is he good at other things?
I think he's good on some people, but I think he's got kind of a overpowering style somehow.
I mean, he totally destroys Curt Schaffenberger's pages in here. Like, they look like shit.
Yeah.
And I double checked. I looked at some other Schaffenberger stuff coming out concurrently. Like, did he just start going downhill real quick towards the end? But no,
not at all.
It's this guy's inks just completely overpower him. Like, in a weird way, it looks more like Curt Swan than Schaffenberger.
Yeah, they should have had somebody else. I mean, he must be fast. And like, when you got 64 pages and the same guy can do all of it in 1 month, all the way through, not all the way through, but for a bunch of these issues, it's Mike DeCarlo with assistance from Arnie Starr.
Oh, right.
And I don't know how they divided it up, but like, I guess it's just 2 guys inking this. Maybe like they're paying DeCarlo enough that he gets split his paycheck with this other guy to get work done faster.
We talked about this once before. Is there something like they're trying to blame each other for fucking up pages? Like,
I don't remember that.
Like, I didn't make those look shitty. Arnie Starr did.
I thought they must have been buddies, but I don't know. Even the Swan stuff, it looks a little better, but it's supposed to look like these 60s comics or 50s comics, and it doesn't. It just looks like kind of boring. Yeah, Mike DeCarlo comics, it looks just like the LaRocque stuff, only they're not as sexy or something.
Right.
This is the big time anniversary issue, Legion of Superheroes 45, since we already started talking about it.
That's right. Issue 45 from December 15th, 1987, The Unlucky Streak. And as with many anniversary issues, it's kind of a jam comic. I know how much David loves jam comics.
Love them.
So like issue 300, we have several guys from the Legion's history drawing this, along with LaRocque, the regular penciler. We've got the great Curt Schaffenberger and the great Curt Swan, Dave Cockrum, Mike Grell, Keith Giffen, and Dick Giordano.
Wish they'd have got some Jim Sherman, Steve Lytle.
Yep.
They could have had those guys take over some of the LaRocque pages. I would have been happy with that.
And Schaffenberger, he wasn't really a Legion guy, but I think they kind of use him as a stand-in for the early guys because they're dead. Like he's kind of the Al Plastino fill-in, or
I think Plastino might still have been alive,
right?
But he's just too big for stupid comic books. He's got He's got 7 Ferdinand strips to draw today.
Yeah, he's just planning on taking over Peanuts. Too busy redrawing Jack Kirby's Superman faces.
Oh, did he do that? I thought that was Murphy Anderson or somebody.
I think it was him, but I think he unfairly gets shit for that. He was just doing his job.
Yeah,
it was his choice.
Right. And I mean, yeah, these guys didn't care, right? Like,
right.
I mean, I don't know if Kirby cared. He must have cared a little bit, but also,
yeah,
I don't know. Like they all just were kind of resigned to this is how.
Yeah, it's like commercial art to a lot of those guys.
Yeah, like that's just how comic books are.
Yeah,
they're gonna fuck up your artwork. You can draw 10 more pages tomorrow.
And it makes sense to an extent. It's like if you're a writer, an editor comes in and fixes things or asks for things to be changed.
Yeah.
It straddles that weird thing like it's kind of art, but it is commercial. It is a commercial art. It is.
Right. And they're on a deadline grind doing this shit.
There's a lot of grinding in this comic.
Hell yeah.
Courtesy of Mike Grell.
The Grell grind.
That's right. Some cosmic grinding.
But I think they were like that 25th anniversary. We looked at that not too long ago. Issue 300 was also... It was the 300th issue of Superboy, but also the 25th anniversary of the Legion of Superheroes strip. Now it's 5 years later. We're at the 30th anniversary. It seems like they thought this was going to be a big anniversary. They had big plans. They put out this flyer thing, fancy. Put out 3 Legion books. Like this week, you get Secret Origins, and you can get issue 45, and the next week you're going to get Who's Who. Well, this is a $3 comic book, this for 45. And these fuckers are $1.25. Back in these days, a regular comic book was 75 cents.
Big spending.
Yeah, you're a Legion fan, your wallet is light this month. Plus, you're buying that comic scene that you were just talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And even in the back of this thing, in the letters page, Levitz is like, he's saying, oh, we've got fans who have been reading since Adventure 247. They've been reading since 20 years ago. Maybe this is your first time reading Legion of Superheroes. They thought this was going to be a big deal and like a jumping on point for new readers in this comic book.
Yeah. Otherwise, it just seems sort of ridiculous to have another big anniversary just 5 years later. What's 5 years? It's like nothing. Like 25, that makes sense. 25th anniversary. But 30th, who celebrates the 30th anniversary? It's like you celebrate 20 or 25, not both. And then you have to wait till 50. Right.
Well, but in the days of monthly comic books, I would say that every 10 years you could celebrate.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we just had a big celebration 5 years ago. But I guess if there's little kids reading it, they've quit reading it already. So you need to get some new little kids hooked on your $3 esoteric, heavy backstory comic book.
31st anniversary celebration. 32nd anniversary celebration.
That's what an annual is, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Celebrate every year. There's no excuse not to party down once in a while.
I feel like the only one that really does it, the old Marvel ones were kind of like that because they would reprint like best of stories of that year for a while before they started doing ones that were all like new content.
Oh, the annual had the best of the past year?
I mean, they'd usually lead off with a new story, but at least for a while in the 60s, they were almost entirely reprints.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, in the 60s. Okay, I was thinking like 70s and 80s when they're full issue length stories. Like, yeah, you could put a couple of they're all 8 pages or whatever.
Right. Now, Larry Hama, when he did G.I. Joe annuals, which he didn't call annuals, they're called yearbooks, those would have... like part of the issue would just be recapping everything that happened that year. So
that sounds good.
Function kind of like a yearbook, but there was new content in there as well.
That would be a good way to get new readers paying attention.
Right, to catch you up.
Yeah, you get that annual and get caught up. You kind of know overview of last year, and then I can just start. I can get going and find out what Major Blood is up to next month.
Sadly, I think annuals are like dead now. I don't think they do annuals anymore.
I don't think so either. I mean, I think they tried with New 52 And it was just kind of a failed experiment.
Yeah.
Even though they still have like those extra weeks of the year. What do they do for those? Like those are always, they would reserve them for crossover events and annuals, I thought.
I don't know. They've done different things over the years. Like DC would have like, that would be the week they do like the amalgam comics or the tangent comics, you know.
Yeah.
A new line, a new fluke line, just one issue of it. They figured out a way to make a storyline out of it, I guess. And then like Superman and Batman and Spider-Man, those guys who only had, they had a book for every week. They'd have like a 5th book for that 5th week. Like there was Superman, Man of Tomorrow, but it was a quarterly book.
Oh yeah, that's what they were doing. They were doing quarterlies when I was like a teenager, weren't they? But do they do that today? You don't even know. I don't even know.
But I definitely remember, at least before they came up with those events, like what a bummer it was coming into the comic shop that week and realizing it's a 5th week. Like, jack shit.
Yeah, I don't think I ever really realized it. I just think that I feel like I would show up and like, what? Nothing new? That's weird.
Right.
And then I would just find something else, something from 2 weeks ago and try something else.
Yeah.
Who's Who in the Legion must be from an extra week of that month. Yeah. Actually, I think it was December. It was like December 22nd or something when it came out. So it was the week of Christmas.
Oh.
So I bet a lot of people got these for in their stocking from Santa Claus.
Stuffers.
When Who's Who in Legion was coming out, I bought it because I was a Who's Who fan. I wasn't reading Legion. And I think I didn't even buy all of them because it cost too much. And I didn't know anything about the characters.
Right. Yeah, I remember kind of hating them. It had already happened, but I'd pick up the back issues. But I'd be pissed off because like half the book was like some story about like Gim Allen's parents or something like that. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Give me more entries. I want to see more of the characters. But to fill out the series, I guess, they had all those intros. Some of them are kind of cool looking, but I don't know. I would have rather they done more entries because they skipped over a lot of characters and they crammed a bunch of characters into these like quarter-page entries.
Did they skip over a bunch? I just assumed it was really everybody.
Nah, I think they skipped over. I can't think of anyone specifically right now, but I remember referring to that several times through the podcast, and they didn't bother making entries for a bunch of guys.
Oh, wow. Yeah, one of these days we need to start doing our speed run of Who's Who.
Yeah. Well, it probably wouldn't be so hard because only half of each book is actual entries.
Right. We just have to set the stopwatch and quit talking about it after 30 minutes.
Buzzer go off.
Yeah.
And have like the, Jeopardy music playing in the background.
Uh-huh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Guarantee that no one will listen to it if that happens.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about this comic then. 45. Ken Stacy cover. I think this is the first Ken Stacy cover.
I believe you. 45. Such an old number. Are you 45?
No, I'm 29.
That's right. Sorry, Jack. Unlucky streak.
What, like, it's got this cartoony, dorky lettering for the title.
I feel like that's a common thing in this comic, especially when Giffen's on it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if that's a weakness or just kind of a quirk about him, but it seems no matter how serious a comic he's doing, it'll have like really silly like bubble letters in it.
Yeah, he does sound effects. He does like a lot of sprawlings and stuff like that. And they're in here. I think this is some uncredited layouts by Giffen in some of this or a lot of this. And I don't know if we'll ever get an answer to that. I have to ask Paul Levitz before he dies if he was getting Keith Giffen to ghost lay out these books to get the deadlines under control or something.
Maybe.
Or if he was literally plotting some of this stuff.
Thing is, the GIF is gone. And will Levitz admit that he was getting all this help? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know
anyway, for this anniversary thing, this is basically just an overview of Lightning Lad's history. And it's framed with these three fellows called the Luck Lords, which are an old Silver Age Legion villains, except they're only really those characters in name. I'm not sure why he decided to do it this way. But
yeah, it's almost like he wanted to
just like the name so much. Luck Lords.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Like the old guys were just like a gang of criminals. And these are the real lords of luck who control luck. I think it's not totally clear either that these guys are the force of nature in the universe that controls luck, or if they're just some kind of weird eyeball-headed aliens who make little bets with each other and have prophetic dreams.
They seem like they're some kind of cosmic force or something, but they never really show up again that I know of.
Yeah.
They are dorky. The more I look at them, I don't know, maybe it's because we reviewed this comic so many times in one way or another, but I kind of like their heads. I guess they want chaos and randomness to take back over the universe. Like the universe is being run is too orderly, and they feel like Lightning Lad is instrumental in preserving order in the universe through his, being a founding member of the Legion. So they're thinking if they can like somehow derail him at some point in history, chaos will rule.
Yeah, but I don't think they even think that it's his place in the Legion. It's just by nature of him being alive is causing or is keeping chaos at bay and keeping science and reason in charge of existence or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to use their powers to try and kill him is what they want to do. And they can only do it when the stars are correctly aligned, right?
Right. It's weird though, because since it does play with chaos and order, you would think Giffen would want to have something to do with this.
Well, I think he does have something to do with it. Here's a Giffen page for sure. And this splash page and the design of these guys look like Giffen designs. With through the lens of Greg LaRocque, like the eyeball head, it seems like something Giffen would do. But then, like when you see how they're built with like a sinewy human neck and kind of a square jaw, that's like a LaRocque thing. It's really strange.
Very weird looking. Like, are they wearing, it almost looks like they're wearing masks.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
Well, then later in the book, they get rounder. Like LaRocque starts to figure it out. Like, oh, their whole head is like a sphere shape. But then he still can't resist putting the square jaw on them. But I'm trying to imagine these guys drawn by Giffen, and they look kind of cool, in a Giffen drawing.
Right. I don't know. I kind of like the jaw. I think the jaw makes them creepier.
Well, look at like this page. This is page 17. No jaw on those. Like it's a side view. That may be Schaffenberger drawing that because it's in the Schaffenberger sequence.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's probably
what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't bring in LaRocque just to draw that one panel.
Yeah. I mean, they look, they are silly. They look sillier with a totally round head, though. They look like a cartoon character. They look a little more disturbing to me with the jaw.
I think they look scary either way.
Okay. The other thing is, do they have any connection at all to the Emerald Eye? Just another one of those things, like kind of like every mysterious cowled character is wearing purple.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys whose heads is a giant emerald eye. Nah, no connection to the villainous emerald eye that's been floating around. No, they're silly, and they talk stupid. They do this kind of Greek chorus thing, and they talk in like mumbo jumbo,
which just makes it a chore to read, trying to parse what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, totally. But they do. Is it in the first couple of pages where they let on that, like they kind of foreshadow the Magic Wars, with the idea that the notion that Lightning Lad is the linchpin stopping or keeping science and reason from being overtaken by some other force, and if he dies, then science and technology and reason will go out the window.
Right.
Spoiler alert, he does not die in this issue. I think Paul Levitz wants us to be in suspense all the way through, thinking, oh, maybe this is the issue where we're going to kill Lightning Lad.
Right.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't enter your mind that it's going to happen as you read it.
You'd also think maybe somewhere in here they would have provided an example to exemplify why he is the one preserving the order. Like in one of these flashbacks, it would be some pivotal moment in history.
Yeah.
But none of these seem like pivotal. I mean, maybe when he gets frozen, when he fights the Kund invasion, I guess. But I don't see how that would lead to the end of the universe.
Well, yeah, and totally from the point of view that the Luck Lords are explaining is that they wanted to kill him in his space cruiser during his origin time, right? Mm-hmm. So even before he became Lightning Lad and had his superpowers,
right?
He was the important, this redheaded twin kid was this important figure in history. And I don't know how they knew it. It doesn't make any sense, I guess. Just this random kid goes on to become a big hero. It's weird.
Right. It keeps backfiring on them. Like they attempt to snuff him out before he can become a great hero, but they inadvertently, they cause him to get his powers.
Yeah. And it's confusing. See, they're trying to, like, imagine Garth Rand's Lightning Lad. He has a destiny to be the guy who stops chaos from reigning in the universe. Mm-hmm. It's his fate to be that, right? It's with him when he's born. It's always going to be what he is. Mm-hmm. The Luck Lords are going to attempt, with their powers over luck, to upend fate. So, like, there's like a Luck Lords, and there's green eyeball head guys who control luck, and there's maybe some Fate Lords who are out there who are red guys with eyeball heads, and they control fate, and they hand out the fate to everybody when they're born. Mm-hmm. And then the Luck Lords are like, yeah, we're going to luckify this dude and kill him in his space cruiser. And then they're thwarted by random chance of all these there's like his brother is going to wreck the ship, and then he takes it over, and then the lightning beasts are going to blow up the ship and strand them forever, but instead the lightning beasts zap them, and instead of killing them with the lightning powers, it gives them superpowers. So all these random chances are thwarting the Luck Lords' efforts, their effort to intervene in what he's fated to be.
Right, but isn't random chance and luck both their domain?
I don't know.
That's another side.
It almost seems like a third thing or a second thing, because they're annoyed when they get their first try is fucked up by these random things that happen.
Right.
And they're trying to say that luck is a random thing and luck is not a random thing. It's both things at once, they say.
Right.
It's so dorky and just such mumbo jumbo goofball stuff.
Yeah, it feels like a half-cooked idea, like he was onto something, but he just gave up on completing it in a way that would make sense, where it would all come together.
Yeah, half-baked is right. It's like he read the article in Omni magazine, but he fell asleep halfway through or something, you know?
Now that looks like Giffen to me. The eye close up.
Yeah, definitely. Big eye panel. And even this panel here where... So that we cut from the Luck Lords on top of a ziggurat on Ventura to Lightning Lord in prison on the new prison planet Labyrinth.
Right. We're kind of doing two things through this story with those characters. They're telling us about all their past failures of trying to get rid of this guy. But this is also their last attempt to take him out. And Lightning Lord is going to be their pawn to do that. So they are going to free him to set him after Lightning Lad, right?
Yep, he's their ace in the hole.
That's right.
And so they use all their lucky tricks to free him, break him from jail. And it's this new super prison that's using like the radiation from a star to keep everybody inside jail, I guess.
Right.
And they're also using this advanced brainwashing mind therapy that we always talk about.
Right, and I don't quite understand what he's talking to this Tomar Ray looking guy, and the Tomar Ray guy's like, why are you even trying? These are like the most incorrigible of the villains that are sent here. Like, presumably this kind of brainwashing doesn't work for this level of villain, but they're just doing it anyway, I guess.
Yeah, they try again.
I guess we know it will work eventually for Lightning Lord.
Something works, huh? They never, or I don't recall how they explain it, but he's a nice dude eventually.
Right.
And maybe this is the last time he's in the comic until the 5 years later period.
Right. And that's sort of, there's no way Levitz would have known what Giffen was going to do with it, I guess. But it's sort of disappointing to me that there's no seed of hope at the end or some kind of foreshadowing of what we're going to see later. Like, this probably would have been a good time for them to just resolve their decades-long conflict. That would be a big, meaningful change in the story that would justify it getting, like, the anniversary treatment. Like,
totally.
If it was sort of like the Luke Vader Jedi, like, I'm not going to fight you, father, kind of business. And
yeah, like they could settle it once and for all. And it would be a good point to do it because Lightning Lads, he's not a member of the Legion of Superheroes anymore. Like, you can kind of close the book on these two clowns.
Right.
Or just until you need them next time. But, like, yeah, for the anniversary, like, yeah, we can tell the story of this dude who's been a member since the very first day, all his ups and downs. He's got this shit going with his brother where their thoughts all fucked up. And, yeah, we could settle this. But instead, we have a therapy session with Lightning Lord's monster therapist. And, yeah, he's incorrigible.
Right. By the end, we just get another standard Lightning Lad versus Lightning Lord fight.
Totally, yeah. They zap each other with their...
Forward's nothing.
Yeah. The therapist gives up on him. He's like, disgusting. He's like, take the prisoner back to the freezer.
Right. Because he's jealous of his brother and sister. He reacts like he's a pedophile or something, like a bit of an overreaction, like, ugh, this guy is beyond reprieve.
But what does he say? Humans carrying mind trash.
The larva should have outgrown.
Yeah, he's a brainworm.
Yep.
Yeah, but there's all this advanced technology on Labyrinth, the prison planet now, that it's no match for the Luck Lords. Lightning Lord gets loose.
Bunch of lucky breaks for him. Among them, obviously, the guards forgot to put him in like jail fatigues or whatever. He's still in his supervillain costume. That was a lucky break.
Yeah, like couldn't they get that off of him? Actually, would have an easier time escaping. Well, I guess you couldn't escape jail in like the black and white stripes, but like out in public, he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb in that stupid red and green costume. Yeah. And I wonder, is it the first appearance of this eye stalk guy? What's his name? Saquon. He looks familiar, but I don't remember if he's been around before.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we see plenty of eye stalk dudes in Legion history, but...
Oh, okay. It's probably the same one single guy.
I feel like they pop up maybe in 5 years later, maybe in commercials or billboards, or not like a major role, but we see them more.
Yeah, he's kind of a science police guy, this dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in it back in the past. Here's another drawing that looks like Giffen to me. The eye here. I think this looks really cool and scary on page 12.
Totally.
Like some of the weirdness of a Giffen drawing has managed to stay in there.
Yeah.
Like if there was a ton of drawings like that where they're all scary and the eyeball has this kind of ridgy looking stuff, membraney looking stuff around the edges. Yeah. Yeah, that would rock. Then these guys would be really cool.
Between that and the top panel, it reminds me of like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, there's stuff all the way through this that I'm like, if this was drawn by like Giffen and Dave Hunt, like in the Dr. Fate series or something, like it would be totally rad. It would look so strange and so good. But because it has these other artists trying to figure it out or whatever, it just falls flat.
Yeah, there's little hints of greatness in here, like things that could have been fantastic.
Yeah. Now we're in the Schaffenberger. Can you tell?
Just barely.
Yeah.
Schaffenberger is one of my very favorite of the Silver Age guys, but I feel like the inks on here just kind of ruin his work.
I think this whole sequence, it's super boring. And I wonder if I don't know, like if there's a Giffen layout, like did you ask Curt Schaffenberger to draw this in the most boring, static way that he possibly could?
I think,
you know?
I definitely think that's the case. Why they expected him to do that, not Swan, I don't know. Because Swan isn't laid out like this. But I think they wanted it to look like they were employing him as again, I don't remember where I read this, but they wanted him as sort of a stand-in for those, like the John Fort guys who aren't around, which is how they used him in issue 300 as well.
Right. Yeah, he did the Smallville Superboy sequence, like the stuff from, like it's a flashback to pre-Legion of Superheroes days of Superboy Smallville comics.
Right.
So this is like it's like a primitive old Golden Age comic or something is what they're trying to go with. And like this is what we, as an 80s comic book reader, we think this is what a 50s comic looks like. This boring as hell.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it doesn't bother me. The layouts don't bother me at all. But just the faces feel like he usually has very clean faces, and they've tried to put shadows and wrinkles, and it just uglifies it kind of. Yeah,
this weird muscly neck on. This is Lightning Lord here. Mech Durans. They're supposed to be kids, but they're all kind of
Right.
Sinewy, gnarly or something.
Right. Lightning Lad seems like a dick here.
Yeah, he's kind of putting down his older brother, right? And he pushes him out of the seat, tells him he sucks at driving.
And we kind of know it's not even really his fault now. It's the Luck Lords fucking with the steering they're causing him to crash. It's not Mech's fault.
Yeah. I wonder if the Luck Lords are responsible for Mech being a singleton mutant.
Maybe.
Like, that's the whole problem between these two brothers is
right.
Mech didn't have a twin. Everybody else has a twin, and Mech Ran's Lightning Lord never had a twin as a child, so he grows up to be a supervillain bad guy. And he's jealous. Yeah, it's weird. He's like, she should have been my twin, is what he is saying.
Yeah.
Which is kind of twisted.
There's some weird things going on there. Like he's like, she's mine. I feel like that part of their story, I know it's been there for a while, but that became a bigger and bigger deal over time. Like the emphasis on him being a singleton versus a twin. I mean, initially, Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl thought they only had one kid, and he didn't seem like super freaked out that he only has one kid. He's going to grow up a freak.
Yeah. I mean, you could maybe chalk that up to him being a very worldly person now. Or
right.
He's not only exposed to the twins on Witness, but he's also always kind of been, maybe not always, he's always been shown to be sympathetic towards his brother and want him to be a good person, right? Mm-hmm. Not maybe everybody else on the planet is like singletons are gross and bad, and he's like, this guy's my brother, he should be okay, he's fine. So he has a sympathy towards single birthed people.
Weird culture. How does that work? Do they just walk around in tandem everywhere? Like, how do you know that guy doesn't have a twin unless they're inseparable? Like, if they get married, do the couples stay together? And
yeah, probably. It's like a double monad. Like they wear the same clothes, like here.
Right.
And they coordinate that every day. Mm-hmm. And yeah, these two, I mean, they're probably shunned back on their planet, Lightning Lad and Lightning Lass, because they didn't marry another set of twins.
Right. Very weird.
In fact, she never got married. She's a spinster.
At some point in one of the reboots, I think it turns out he does have a twin.
Yeah, that's right. That's a funny twist. I think Jeff Johns sets them up like after Lightning Saga, after Legion of Three Worlds, and after Superman and the Legion of Superheroes. Those three big Jeff Johns restoring the team. Mm-hmm. The next big storyline that he started and then Paul Levitz was going to pick up on was this thing where Lightning Lad goes off in search of Lightning Lord's twin, and it just peters out. Like the Levitz starts his series and Lightning Lad shows up and somebody's like, hey, what'd you ever find out about that long lost brother of yours? And he's like, nothing, didn't exist.
He's like, I didn't want to do that story. That was a dumb story.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it is kind of an interesting idea, I suppose. But like, yeah, if he didn't want to do it, it was just dropped it, acknowledged that it was dumb, moved on.
Right. Yeah, I was getting halfway out there and I realized this is a really fucking dumb idea. Why am I doing this? It's like some idiot wrote this.
Some idiot who's going to get canceled.
Right.
Yeah, this is just a recap of his of how all the Rand's kids got their superpowers.
Right. The electropenis beasts. It's very, very phallic.
I like the design of these lightning beasts. Mm-hmm. They kind of always look different. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like the muscly, lumpy bodies that Mike DeCarlo gives them.
I want to see the lightning beasts and the, what are the Meccano monsters?
Oh, the metallic monsters or whatever. The ones from Braille or Brawl.
I want to see those guys fight.
Yeah.
We were talking about that recently, right? Like somebody drew them really boring. One of our the comics. There's
Keith Giffen did.
Metal about them.
They're just dinosaurs.
But I think like somebody else drew them like they looked like they were a bunch of machinery and gears and stuff smushed together, right?
Yeah, one of the Silver Age guys drew them like that.
Right.
Yeah, so while the Luck Lords are scheming, we cut to this sequence where the three Legion founders are just like doing paperwork and they're bitching that they are advisors and have to do paperwork now. And they never thought that when they signed up to be advisors, they'd have to do paperwork.
Yeah.
And that's about all there is to it. But a Cosmic Boy does do this, has a smarmy look on his face, and he's like, I've seen enough action for a year.
Right.
Blink.
This is, I feel like we get pages like this intermittently in the regular Baxter series. Every 8 or so issues, we'll see all 3 of them meet up for a second, and they'll be like, are you rejoining? No.
Yeah.
So this time we have Saturn Girl. I guess she's back on the team by this point. The other thing is Cosmic Boy. My son's been watching a lot of Ren and Stimpy, and Cosmic Boy looks like he's right out of Ren and Stimpy in that bottom right panel. To me, he's got an expression. Yeah. No, sir, I don't like it.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's that eyebrow thing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why he's making that face. It's this kind of smug, smirky kind of face.
Yeah, he's flexing his muscles. He might not have worn deodorant that day. Saturn Girl's taken aback. She's just like back. She's like, what are you doing?
This is when Lightning Lad dies.
Okay, so the first time they intervened in his life, they made things worse for themselves. They actually, the way I read it is they sort of know what is fated to be. Like they know he's going to be a great hero. So they maybe know he's going to be Lightning Lad and he's going to be in the Legion. So they try to kill him early on, but they actually cause him to become Lightning Lad. So this time around, they say, no, we're just going to stay out of it. Maybe if we don't intervene this time, we won't make things worse. Maybe he'll just die this time.
Oh, is that what happened?
I think that's what they said.
Well, see, this part, like this page, they're all, the Luck Lords are...
it appeared there was no need for us to interfere to win our way.
Yeah, they're explaining to us, the audience, what they've done in the past, right?
Right. Of course, if they sort of know fate, it wouldn't make sense that they would think that by not intervening, it would take care of itself. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there might be a temptation to read this and think that the Luck Lords are not showing us a flashback of even their past deeds. It's like now we're seeing the time when the Luck Lords tried to kill him the second time, but that's not how it is. They're looking in their fireplace and seeing their past failures.
Right.
This page with the giant Lightning Lad up in the sky. I think this is another one of these drawings that would have looked really awesome if Keith Giffen had drawn it himself. He's in this weird pose with this weird, just empty look on his face, you know?
Right.
I think if Giffen had drawn that with all the fire and smoke and color hold stuff that Giffen does and real bloopy black inks, that would have looked so good. Here it just looks okay. This is Curt Swan now, right?
I like him. I like the Lightning Lad. It's everything else around it that's boring to me. And he does have a kind of a dead expression, but I guess maybe that's how things looked in the Silver Age, right?
I think if Giffen had drawn that dead expression, it would look really spooky. He would look kind of dead.
Yeah.
I don't think he's supposed to be dead here. Maybe he is. Or is this is the memorial, isn't it?
Where?
One of these like Encyclopedia Galactica things explains that there's a memorial to Lightning Lad up there in space where he was killed.
Is that place where they end up having to go to? Isn't that part of the resurrection of him? Like there's some planet within it. Maybe it has an eternal flame or something like that. Just looked at this a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
like there's a couple locations. Well,
they had an eternal flame on his grave, right? Or on his tomb. I swear I just read this thing. It's right here. It says it's a monument. Projects a holoptic image of Lightning Lad being struck by Zarian's freeze ray.
Like all those great memorials to all those great heroes who died in World War II. We have like statues of them getting shot in the head.
Right. Yeah, getting shot in the head or shooting themselves in the head.
Right.
I mean, that's not a great hero. That would be a good monument of like Hitler blowing his own brains out. They should put up that.
Well, sure.
But he took poison, didn't he? He didn't blow his brains out.
Little tears.
Tears. Going like this, like rubbing his eyes, crying. I lost. But anyway, yeah, this just recounts how he simultaneously was frozen to death, but he also murdered Zarian the Conqueror and stopped the invasion of Earth.
That's right.
So is he the first Legion murderer, or did that shit with Starboy happen first?
I think this happened before. I think
so.
What I want to know is if he got frozen, how is she carrying him like in Shouldn't he be like frozen solid? Like
he should be in a cube,
right.
like when they get frozen in like a Tex Avery cartoon.
Right.
Like this is what his frozen body should look like when he's in the tomb or in the what do you call this, in the viewing death pod,
the linen case.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what else could it have been based on, especially at that time?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's been much of that sense either, I guess. But
yeah, did they do that
to? I can think of.
Did they do that to Queen Elizabeth? Not permanently. I'm sure they had her on display for a little bit.
On display, it's so fucked up.
Elizabeth II, she just died last year.
Yeah,
this is actually a neat drawing here. Where this is the top of page 23, where Lightning Lad's in his death box.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Legionnaires are like standing over him, but like Curt Swan has drawn them like they're all trying to look at his face, like they all have their heads kind of tilted and they're looking at his face. Right. And Cosmic Boy has his hands like on top of the casket. It looks really, it looks really natural and real. Right. Instead of like the other times we've seen this recreated and they're holding up the lightning rods and stuff. Uh-huh. It just looks like a comic book drawing. He's kind of notched it up here to look like. I don't know how teenagers would really like be leaning on
it's this like they're observing the good work. Like the mortician did a good job. He doesn't look too unnatural there.
Well, they're waiting for him to wake up.
Oh, okay.
Or something. We just read this comic not too long ago. This is so exactly.
Yep. It's pretty verbatim.
Word for word. But this part where Saturn Girl comes out of the cave, Prody lures Saturn Girl into the cave and knocks her out, takes her place in the lineup to randomly be struck by lightning if you get struck by lightning using this device, your life force will revive the dead person and you will die. So Prody, Chameleon Boy's slave, takes the place of Saturn Girl because Prody's in love with Saturn Girl. He wants to save her life because she uses a Duraflame fire log instead of the steel lightning rod. So she'll get struck by lightning. And Prody takes it. Now Prody's dead.
The Acme lightning attractor.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Saturn Girl lives. Prody's dead. Lightning Lad is alive. Nobody gives a fuck that Prody is dead. And now in this retelling of the story, Saturn Girl comes out of the cave where Prody had knocked her out or left her, and she's got the biggest smile on her face. She's like, he saved my life. Yes. So glad he's dead and not me.
We win. The dumb pet's dead. It's like the Eltro Gan thing. It's like we create a red shirt real quick to kill off in place of the important character.
Yeah, a civilian's dead. Whew, thank goodness it wasn't somebody important.
It wasn't one of us. Yeah.
Everything Saturn Girl says has an exclamation point at it. She's so happy that Prody's dead and not her.
It is too bad, I think, that Levitz chose to say that in this particular story they didn't intervene in any way, because knowing what we know about how 5 years later addresses what happened to Lightning Lad here, saying that he never came back, basically. Prody took his place. It'd be interesting to think that maybe Prody was an agent of the other side, like wanting to make sure there was a Lightning Lad in history. He'd been killed off, even if it's not the real or the original Lightning Lad. Like a Lightning Lad needs to exist, so to counter the Luck Lords, he goes to take his place.
I see.
Did that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for that to work, they'd have to introduce the opponent of the Luck Lords, I guess. But that would make this comic even more complicated.
Well, they look just like them, only instead of eyes, they have big asses for their faces. The 3 ass face guys.
At first I thought you were going to try to say that maybe Prody was like their ace in the hole for this one. Because in that storyline, Prody kind of came out of nowhere to become Chameleon Boy's pet.
Well, right. Like I'm saying, like, maybe he was working for them.
Yeah.
He was in cahoots with them, and they sent him there to counter what these guys are doing. Like, he might not be able to prevent Lightning Lad from dying, but he can take his place, so he still, like, exists in history.
That would be a good twist. That's what's in the fan fiction or in the $29.95 source book. Then they get to the subplot of Atmos.
The rapist.
Yeah, this dude's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this whole subplot going for a few issues of Atmos, who is He's the new planetary champion of the planet Xanthu that used to be Starboy. I don't know how Starboy got the axe, but he got fired from being the planetary champion. And now Atmos is. And Atmos wants to be in the Legion of Superheroes real bad because he's a, what would you call him? He's like a glory hound or something like that.
A douchebag, I believe, is what they're
Yeah,
called.
but he wants to be real famous. But yeah, he's a douchebag. And he's trying to get in the Legion. He thinks he deserves membership in the Legion. That's kind of the subplot that goes on for a few issues. He never makes it in this series. He never becomes a member of the team. But
supposedly he was a member during the Gap.
Yeah, I think Sunboy let him in or something. Birds of a feather.
Sunboy wouldn't have any issue with what he was doing. Hey, she was coming on to me.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
When she was dressed.
He's a good wingman.
Yeah.
But it looks like Atmos and Dream Girl are a romantic pairing now. Starboy's out of the picture, both in the life of Dream Girl and as planetary champion of Xanthu. He was replaced entirely with Atmos.
I don't know, though. She doesn't look like... She looks kind of wide-eyed when he just phases through her bedroom, like she doesn't want him to be there.
Oh, okay. So they're not an item yet. Eventually they are.
Because she's covering herself, and she looks surprised. Like, what are you doing in my bedroom?
Yeah, you must be right. I know that eventually they are shacking up together.
Wonder if he has all of his genitals, or like parts of them are missing.
They're just like blobs of energy.
Invisible. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of a cool design, but
yep.
Like, what the hell is he? And he's a Mohawk.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I mean, he seems to have different powers than Starboy, right?
I believe so.
The native-born powers.
I don't recall the powers.
Increasing powers.
Oh, you think that's what his powers are?
Well, that's what Starboy's are, right?
Yeah. You know,
like all the other ones were because he like flew a ship through an asteroid tail or something like that.
Yeah, here he is in Who's Who.
Atmos.
He doesn't even have the cool like surprint shit in his armpits like he does in the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Ron Friends?
Is it?
In addition to the psychological advantage created by Atmos's physical size and unnerving appearance, he has several nuclear-based powers, which include flight, greatly enhanced strength, and a special inhibitor field, which gives him partial invulnerability to both physical and energy attacks, and the ability to survive exposure to interplanetary space without a trans suit. It also provides him with the ability to project nuclear bolts from his hands. These bolts can melt metals or metallic compounds and generate an electromagnetic field capable of disrupting electronic energy. So there you go. Nuclear powers. But then he also has a secret power that is revealed in the last issue of the series.
I don't remember that.
Well, that's how he gets Dream Girl to date him.
Oh, like he's some kind of mental...
Yeah.
Kind of like the Chain Guy's girlfriend?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. The Chains Man.
I have that power too. It's called charisma. I have no charisma.
No, you do. Don't sell yourself short. All right, now we're back to after that interlude with Dream Girl. Boring. We're back to the exciting part. More Luck Lords action. Interlude upon the ziggurat.
I think the hand getting disintegrated looks pretty good.
No, that's an awesome panel. One of the top panels in this comic. Kind of Giffen-y. Would have looked better if Giffen drew it, but still, right. They pulled it off. Whoever drew this sequence. Is this just... Yeah, we're not into the Cockrum one yet.
It looks painful.
Yeah, it looks messed up.
Mm.
But then when they show him with a robot arm on the next page, not cool. This doesn't look remotely as cool as his actual robot arm in the old comics with like the bolts and stuff on it.
You know, that whole saga, I mean, I think he looks awesome with a robotic arm. Not that robotic arm, but when it looks more like mechanical. But the whole him being so bothered by the fact that he doesn't have a real arm and dead set on going after the space Moby Dick, it just falls flat to me. Like, you were dead for a while and you came back. Like, if that had happened to you, you'd be like, oh, well, I mean, at least I'm alive. And plus I have this arm that basically does everything my regular arm used to do.
Right.
And by that point, I don't even think it would be that ridiculous to expect that you would have sensation in that bionic arm. So it seems really silly that he would have ever gotten so hung up over that.
It's got to be, 15-year-old hormones or something,
Right.
Like he doesn't realize how precious life is.
Right.
And how short it is, even after he's been killed once. Like, no, he's back. He just wants all his stuff,
Right, right.
But is there something in that story that makes him, like, go insane or something?
Did the arm make him evil? Was there something weird like that?
That'd be cool. Like the nuclear reactor in the arm.
Did Starfinger have something to do with that?
Oh,
OG Starfinger?
Yeah, there he is in this recap.
I mean, was he the one?
And there's the Luck Lords, too.
They kind of look cooler.
They look like the three kings from the birth of Jesus Bible story.
Biblical thing.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to read that. It's Adventure Comics 343.
We'll get to it soon.
Yeah.
I think. Scheduled for 2040.
Now it's the Dave Cockrum flashback part.
I really like this one.
Well, supposedly this is not a recap of an old comic. This is a new story.
A new story, yeah.
And I thought it was actually happening in the present, but it's not. It's a flashback to...
Right. This would have been like in the 70s.
Yeah. But see, it's kind of confusing because you can't tell the difference between the Lightning Lad of today and the Lightning Lad of the 70s, or in the same costume, And this story picks up after Lightning Lord has like escaped jail. Mm-hmm. So it threw me because it's like, oh, this is somehow in sloppy storytelling of this comic, Lightning Lad has found Lightning Lord, but it's actually a flashback to way back.
Yeah, I'd say like the modern version of him has wilder hair, but that is also kind of inconsistent in here, depending on who's drawing it. LaRocque gives him wilder, longer hair. Really, the logical thing probably to have done was to have stay-at-home dad, Lightning Lad, never suit up. Like, you could have fought that last battle wearing the same thing he's wearing in the Giffen sequence. Just like everybody in 5 years later.
It's really confusing. Like, the Giffen strip is really out of place.
Right.
But the Cockrum one, yeah, it looks good. I think this must be solo Dave Cockrum, pencils and inks.
He inked himself, yeah.
I think so, because it doesn't look like the DeCarlo stuff.
Right.
And it doesn't look like Giordano either.
On page 29 there, the lower left, I love those crazy eyes he drew with.
Oh, yeah.
Looks really good.
Yeah, Cockrum was good. Like, this looks like, well, it was in issue 300 where Cockrum drew the sequence where it was in the future and they're like the adult Legionnaires and they were all supposed to be 40 or 50 years old or something, and they're all craggy and they all looked old and they're all mad and yelling at each other the whole time. They looked like this. Like that was just kind of the mode or something that Cockrum was drawing. Like everything in the mid and late 80s that he drew was just like old people yelling at each other. Like I think there's a section in maybe like one of the Armageddon 2001 annuals that Cockrum drew. And it's like this again, where they all look real old.
Yeah.
And I remember not liking it. I'm like, what do people like about this Cockrum guy?
Was this Justice League Europe?
I think it might have been in that.
That was kind of a jam comic, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like Giffen drew a few panels in there too.
Yeah, it was a comedy kind of annual in a way.
Of course.
Yeah, the Giffen part was Metamorpho and like Jonah Hex or something each other. Yeah, it looks good. Sure like that guy's artwork.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We get to see Cockrum do the what I think is a Giffen invention where they take on that entirely all energy form, like on page 32.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and like this is totally Giffen layout right here on 31. Mm-hmm. Like we know how that would look if Giffen drew it, Like this is actually in that one where Lightning Lord's getting zapped on the cover. It's all yellow. Mm-hmm. It's just one of these. But yeah, Giffen did kind of come up with, I assume it was Giffen. Maybe the colorist had a hand in it where Lightning Lad, his power is yellow, and Lightning Lord's power is this pale blue. And that way you can tell the difference of which guy is hitting the other guy with his lightning bolts. But yeah, then they turn into this all fizzy lightning form.
Yeah.
In this story, they have their showdown, but then for some reason, Lightning Lord can't pull the trigger and finish off Lightning Lad.
I know. And this is like more foreshortening, more foreshadowing, not foreshortening. towards an end that might have some resolution that we never actually get in this. Like, almost like maybe it was planned that way, and then he changed his mind. Like, maybe I'll use him again as a villain soon. So, I don't know. Because he's introducing empathy here that we don't normally see from this character.
Right, definitely. Yeah, like this issue starts with Mectran's like, I'm going to fucking kill him. All I want to do is kill him.
Right.
And then this flashback one, the empathy seeps in and he can't do it. But then he's like, does he even say that? Like, I can't do it this time, but I'm going to get you next time.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like you just can't get it up for some reason. But he says, but I don't know why I couldn't bring myself to kill you, but don't count on that saving you next time. So we're supposed to be real scared now because the next time's coming up in this issue.
It's just like Vader. Like after he's revealed to be the dad, then they start writing him a little more sympathetic in the third movie before he even turns. Like he can't quite bring himself to kill Luke Skywalker.
Uh-huh.
And that psychological profile at the beginning, though we've heard this a million times by now, I think this is the first he's trying to write a sympathetic version of this character to explain why he's so angry and he's not just evil.
Oh, yeah. Like he's actually, foreshadowing a goodness prevailing within Lightning Lord by the end of this comic book.
Right.
Yeah. On one of those, I think it was Legion of Super Bloggers blog website thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're in their entry for this issue, they're critical of the Luck Lords thing. And they're like, this should just be a story about the brothers.
Right.
And they point out, and I haven't read this in a while, but I totally agree with them, that there's an issue where Lightning Lass is fighting with Lightning Lord, I think.
Yeah, I think that's like in the early Baxter issues, maybe.
Yeah. Probably when she gets her powers back and loses her light Lass powers and becomes Lightning Lass again, and has this kind of confrontation with Lightning Lord. And they're like, this is a better exemplifier of the kind of relationship that they really ought to be having in this comic book in 45.
I mean, they've long had this rivalry, these two brothers, but it's weird that she just happens to be off panel through this whole thing. Like she shows up like in some group shot, but there's no mention of anything going on at all. Like you would think she'd somehow be involved in this.
It is really strange. Like, and if they're not going to, I don't know. Like she's part of the problem of Lightning Lord, you know. Like if he's all like, I ought to have had a twin sister instead of you, and it's her. Yeah, you could loop her into the story a little bit,
right? And
like when we think back to Superboy 172, I think it is, where they have the secret origin of Lightning Lord's white hair or whatever, you know. It's the two Rand's twins and whoever, Timberwolf is there, I guess, or Karate Kid or somebody. But like that's an 8-pager. You put the two of them in there, you got the whole point across. Like that does a better job than this issue, which is fucking 70 pages or something, 100 pages.
Yeah, I could see her kind of being the like she's the bridge between the two characters, maybe, because they both like her. Like she's the peacemaker, maybe.
She's definitely a piece. This is a good drawing I like of Lightning Lad here.
Totally.
He's kind of got that dead expression on his face, but I don't know, kind of a good face drawing by Cockrum.
Right.
And they paste that into a LaRocque page here on 33.
The weird eyeball guys.
This next part is good, where it's the Saturn Girl's kind of interviewing Brainiac 5. He's very preoccupied with some gizmo and with something he's scheming.
Revenge?
Yeah, it turns out it's revenge. We know it's revenge. It's going to come to a head in 5 months from now. But then there's this ominous, screwy panel of Shadowlass, Saturn Girl, and Princess Projector. Like, I wonder what's going on with Brainiac 5. And there's something going on with Mon-El. He's the same way, preoccupied.
Saturn Girl, I think, knows that he's plotting revenge, and that's why she's saying all the more reason I'd like to help you. Like, she wants to be part of the, what was it? What do they keep referring to it as in that? Like the
conspiracy.
The conspiracy. There you go. After Universo's prison world, you probably understand me better than anyone alive. She says, perhaps all the more reason I'd like to help you. Like, she's on to what he's doing, and she wants in. This is page 34. Like, what she's talking about is she wants to be part of the revenge.
Yeah, that's some actual subtle writing on Levitz's part because, I read this and wasn't thinking that. I thought she just wanted to help him with all his preoccupation problems. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she wants to help him with whatever he's scheming.
Right.
And Shadowlass says Monel and Brainy just need someone to kill.
Yeah.
And I don't think Shadowlass is part of the conspiracy, right? It's a conspiracy between Monel, Brainiac 5, Saturn Girl, and Triplicate Girl, who's still holding the candle for Superboy. Can't just drop it. You're married now.
I think she suspects what's going on, but no one's hipping her to it.
Yeah, because she...
Like Monel's like, nothing's wrong. I just need some time. She's punching the wall.
Oh, Shadowlass. That's who. Yeah.
Right.
They're probably acting that way towards Saturn Girl, too, just because she's so nosy and...
Right.
Can't keep anything away from her.
Right.
All right, here's the main event, Chapter 5. This is why we bought this comic book, to see Mike Grell draw some naked people again.
The fuckathon.
They're out here in front of the Legion headquarters in Avenue of the Heroes getting married. Mm-hmm. This is Grell and Giordano.
I guess they don't have tuxedos in the future. Or maybe that's what a tuxedo looks like in the future.
This is formal wear of 2978 or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Earlier than that, 2975. Mm-hmm. Surprised there's not bell bottoms on that, whatever that thing is that Lightning Lad's wearing.
Maybe in the original pencils, Giordano got rid of them.
Like skin tight until you get below the knee, and then it's a gigantic flare bell bottom.
Saturn Girl's actually wearing pants there, not a dress.
Yeah, that's probably right. Mm-hmm. I wonder who this lady is who officiated their wedding. Is that Phantom Girl? No,
isn't it like the Vulcan priestess?
Winona Ryder.
Oh, okay. yeah.
Did she play his mother in what was that? Where did she play his mom?
Yeah,
Generations or something?
No. It was like one of those new ones.
Really? Not in Discovery.
No, like the J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd accept her into the real Star Trek, I guess.
Oh, I'd accept her, all right.
Mm-hmm. Gonna watch some Star Trek after this.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's nonstop fooling around for these two lovebirds for the rest of this Mike Grell sequence. I don't know how Luck Lords plays into this.
It's good, though. I mean, like, I like this page. This page has that, what do you call it, like a montage kind of thing. And it's very reminiscent of, like, movie posters. Like your old Star Wars posters where you have all the scenes.
The thing where they're in the water and he's lifting her up.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like they're a swim team or something. Or I'm sure there's some like Blue Lagoon type of movie or something where they did shit like that too, right?
Right. Is she using her flight ring? Are they on a planet with less gravity?
What do you mean? She weighs nothing. This is a girl who weighs 110 pounds.
That's what she tells everybody.
And Lightning Lad is this big, strong, strapping, hot man. I bet she doesn't really talk about how much she weighs. Mm-hmm. They have their fuckathon and then...
eyeball pervs are just checking it out.
They get a word that Mordru and the Dominators are trying to destroy Earth. And the Kund are trying to destroy Earth, and they're like, should we go back? Nah, let's fuck some more. We're not on the team. We had to quit. They forced us to quit. Mm-hmm. But then they decide to go back.
They're like, why choose? We can do both.
Yeah, they have space sex. Lightning is rubbing his flight ring with his finger.
I mean, who's driving? Like, does it have like an auto recall or something? Or they get so wrapped up in knocking boots, they bonk their heads on meteors on the way.
Yeah, they need Dawnstar to fly them. But yeah, I forgot how the Luck Lords are involved in that. Maybe not at all.
The wedding.
Bad luck. It was the worst luck when Lightning Lad had to get married.
What makes it pivotal? I guess maybe that they chose to get involved in the war instead of just relaxing on their honeymoon. This actually has nothing to do with the chaos and order thing. They just wanted to see some TNA. One of the Luck Lords said, why are we watching this? Shut up. This is the best part.
Can we watch something else?
What does this have to do with what we're doing? He's getting really excited there. He's got his hands folded there. He's like, ooh, I love this part.
He's like rubbing his... The Luck Lords, what they do is they have a dream that might be prophetic, but it doesn't ever seem to be. But they're always talking about their dreams. And so they dreamed that Lightning Lad would get killed in the Earth War 5-parter. But it was not so. Why? That's what they say.
These guys.
What pattern does the casting of the Starstones call? They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out why they can't fucking kill this guy.
They're incompetent.
They're like, let's have one more memory that maybe we can figure it out. But before that, they have another one of these classic montage things where all the Legionnaires are in one big room together.
Group shot.
And like Tellus and the Invisible Kid are playing Twister, and Colossal Boy's got a broken leg. Yeah, here's Lightning Lad and Lightning Lass together.
Wildfire's in the corner talking about a really interesting sounding story that wasn't actually that good, unfortunately.
Well, and Dawnstar can tell. She's like, I'm sure it was fascinating. It's like she read that issue. Yeah, great.
What do you think about this? I kind of think it's a neat effect, but maybe it looks lazy. When there's one shared line for all the balloons, are you for or against that technique?
Yeah, I don't really like it. I feel like they only did it because they're going to try and adapt this into regular comic book format or something. And like everything above that line might be cut off is why it's done that way.
Right.
This one, by the way, was not reprinted in Tales of the Legion. In fact, I don't even know if they got up to 45 reprinting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I mean, it's fine. It looks a little weird to me, that word balloon thing.
Yeah, it's almost like it was an afterthought to do a full bleed.
Yeah, even though that's part of the thing with the Baxter printing process is you can do that. You can do bleed. You can do 100% magenta color holds. Whole 9 yards. But there must be some rule that whatever within a half inch it might get cut off or something.
Yeah, don't put anything too important.
Nothing too interesting happened on this one. I guess they kind of refer to some adventure that Phantom Girl, Ultra Boy, Block, and Magnetic Kid had been on.
This was them looking for the Wanderers.
Did they meet the Wanderers? Did they guest star in the...
I don't think so. It doesn't lead anywhere, but the Wanderer series is about to happen. So it seems like maybe there'd be kind of like a backdoor pilot. Like an issue where they run into them or something, which would make sense, but I don't think it ever happened. So they just went for the Wanderers. They say that's where they are and where they're going. And they come back and they're like, we didn't find him. Kind of like what you were saying about.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Looking for the brother.
You got the pages, just figure it out.
Right. Not like you're doing anything else in the Baxter series.
Well, it's also like the Invisible Kid thing where he's like, I have these awesome, amazing powers. Take them away. I don't want them.
Yeah.
Jeez. Just leaving money on the table. I mean, not that the Wanderers turned out to be anything too spectacular, I don't think, but come on.
It probably would have helped that book a lot if they popped up even in one issue. Where have you been? Why do you look different?
They did pop up in one issue, but I don't know what the capacity was.
I like want them to be cool, but no dice. I kind of think they looked better before they were redesigned, but I think they've changed again. Like they have, surprisingly, they survived 0 hour. Like they showed up again.
Huh, okay. I didn't know. I think I remember that they turned the post 0 hour team into the Wanderers, right?
Now I don't remember because isn't that how they ended Legion of Three Worlds?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe that's where they're called the Wanderers.
Yeah, I think they do something like that.
He would say Omega Men for sure, at least in some of the
yeah,
stories.
maybe. I can't remember.
I swear he said Omega Men.
Sounds familiar, but I can also see it maybe being both or one or the other sometimes.
Right.
You know, like Paul Levitz won't do a page to like continue on with whatever the Wanderer search storyline, or to try and continue on with Jacques Faucard's mysterious powers, but he will stick in a stupid page like this that exists only to explain why the science police aren't paying attention to the escape of Lightning Lord out in the universe because the Luck Lords fucked up their computer. This is definitely a Giffen laid out page. I can totally see this drawn by Keith Giffen. Mm-hmm. The tight in on the exterior of some building, the kind of establishing shot, I mean, it's kind of textbook, exterior, interior, establishing shot, kind of middle shot, close up. And then there's kind of a gag at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's really textbook Giffen page with Officer Aaron having trouble with the science police monitoring system, Big Brother style monitoring system.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like LaRocque, at least until the last panel. Like, kind of has a longer face like he draws.
Yep. Anyway, that's that.
I want to know about this Earth Stealer thing. It sounds like it must be awesome. I've never read it. Curt Swan, Cherry Ordway, John Byrne.
I never read it either. I think, like, when I was a kid and they rebooted Superman, my brother was buying that, so I would read his, but I didn't keep up with it really. But I think he got this. It came out sort of early in the John Byrne
I think it was
Superman
like a prestige format, and like it was like $5 or something. So
yeah,
I didn't buy it.
That's true, and I think it even has kind of like a painted cover or something.
That sounds right.
Like it's not really it's not a dynamic cover. It looks like a movie adaptation kind of cover or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like this artwork maybe is more indicative of what the comic actually looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. Might be worth reading.
I'm guessing like Swan probably drew it and Ordway inked it and Byrne wrote it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, Swan and Ordway, I feel like I've seen that pairing before. It ought to be good. Like, yeah, Ordway is basically today, Ordway is Curt Swan, right? Like they bring him to do like the throwback stuff. He has this real clean, solid kind of figure work and stuff.
He is kind of he is reminiscent of him, like he's sort of modern Curt Swan.
Like if you want to do they used him in that much more recent Jeff Johns JSA thing. Used Ordway to draw the golden age of sequences, even though he's got like a real Silver Age kind of look. He's like the throwback guy now. Ordway is.
He was drawing like the last dozen issues or so of the JSA book before New 52. It looked pretty good. He's kind of tied to those characters anyway because of All-Star Squadron.
Yeah. Did he do no, he's too new to have done the 70s, like the one that Levitz and Giffen worked on, right? There was no Ordway in that stuff, right?
No, that was different.
Just in the Roy Thomas type of Golden Age stuff. Right.
It was kind of a catch-all book. Any Golden Age DC guy was involved in it.
No, Ordway's good. I wish,
he's real good.
Get him to draw a Legion of Superheroes comic or something.
He did. He drew them somewhere. I don't remember fucking where.
Yeah, but I mean on monthly,
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
You know what? We were talking about Secret Origins. He did Secret Origins issue 1, Wayne Boring, inked by Jerry Ordway on the Golden Age Superman origin. I think that's really good looking artwork there.
It's a good combo.
Yeah.
Cool. Wayne Boring, huh?
They dusted off Wayne Boring. Yeah, wow. Must have been one of his last gigs. I take it back. I said Mike Grell was the main event. Here we are with the main event, Chapter 6. It's the Keith Giffen thing. He hasn't been drawing Legion for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He did like a Bouncing Boys origin story or a Quantum Queen origin story. But then he hasn't been regular on Legion since issue 4 or 5 or something. 40 months.
Is Comet Queen or Quantum Queen? Isn't that one of the Wanderers?
Oh, Quantum Queen is the Wanderers. Comet Queen is the Legion Academy girl, right?
Crazy girl.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Comet, Quantum. Yeah, Quantum. She has some kind of radiation powers.
Okay.
And Comet Queen got her powers from a comet, whatever her powers are. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think Giffen did some kind of Comet Queen backup story or something in the somewhere in the past 40 issues of this comic.
She ends up on the Legion eventually, right?
Yeah, she dies and then she gets reconstituted and she's on the team.
They probably paired her up with Quizlet because everyone has to be paired off.
Yeah, the most insipid pairing of comic book characters.
Right.
Do you think this was inked by DeCarlo? I guess it kind of looks like it, but I don't know, some of the faces don't look quite right. It's almost like he didn't know how Giffen comics are supposed to look or something when he inked this.
You think it looks different than because the lines are thinner? Or?
Well, like these landscape things look fine. They look like Giffen artwork. They look good. But when you get to the faces, they look a little odd. Like they don't look like, I don't know.
That's where I'm expecting like thicker lines on those faces.
Yeah.
Like brush-like lines. And this looks more fine line than I'm used to seeing with his work.
Yeah, like when you see these extreme close-ups,
Mm-hmm.
like Al Gordon nailed those. Like he figured out just the right amount of like line density or something for that kind of stuff. And it's a little off in these ones.
Right.
Like DeCarlo does this kind of ink feathering all the time.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't quite work with Giffen artwork. Like I don't know, I think back to like Ambush Bug comics where there's like these black blobs everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Like Bob Oxner inking that stuff. Put the blobs on, but kind of smoothed them out. Like you could tell that like Giffen is drawing these with like he takes a side of his pencil and goes, here's a big black blob. And then it gets kind of smoothed out and I don't know, prettied up a little bit by Oxner in those Ambush Bug comics or Kessel. But here, DeCarlo doesn't quite get the memo or something. Maybe Giffen didn't give him as tight of pencils or something.
I think it still looks really good. Maybe it doesn't look as good as it normally does, but I still think it's some of the best art in here. It looks like maybe do you think DeCarlo drew Saturn Girl on page 46 on the top middle? That profile of Saturn Girl doesn't really look like Giffen to me. It looks good, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a layout choice by Giffen, you know, like that just straight on profile that Giffen always does.
Right.
I don't know, all the faces look a little off.
Mm-hmm.
Or they look off from Giffen faces. Right. And I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, it looks good. I like the landscape stuff. It really, really pops and works. Like this, the ziggurat. Like when you compare the ziggurat here, this is the ziggurat that the Luck Lords are on, to the ziggurat as drawn by LaRocque back here on page 2.
Right.
I don't know. Just like... I guess it's just because I like Giffen better than LaRocque. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody who can make an argument that LaRocque looks better. But I don't know. To me, like there's something about the way Giffen is drawing in this period that's like, this is a good looking sci-fi comic. Like it's got this page has this crazy chunky mountain with a lot of different textures and things, and then the very next page is this futuristic landscape and buildings, and there's crazy smoke and stuff. It's like, oh, it's all over the map, and he does everything really well. Whereas these other guys, I don't know, it just looks like shortcuts, and I don't know.
Page 46, that toddler looks like a toddler, which is rare.
Yeah.
Where is is it 45? See, it's because I'm not wearing my reading glasses. 45, like with the head
in the fourth panel of 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it doesn't look like a tiny adult.
Yeah, the ones on 46 kind of just look like little people. Mm-hmm. And then when he's draped in the towel on 47, I guess that looks like a kid.
Yeah, that looks like it's swiped from like a diaper ad or something.
Yeah. But see, he's cheating because he doesn't draw their faces, but like one time.
Yeah, their faces aren't quite right. Toddlers have very distinct, well, not distinct. Like toddlers almost all look the same. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. they all it's hard to tell them apart. Yeah.
This Giffen sequence, it takes place in, it's not a flashback. It takes place today in Legion of Superheroes continuity, I think, right? Or is it a flashback?
Kind of, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't
make sense that way because, he's back in his street clothes at home, I'm thinking. Are they on Earth with her? Maybe they are. Just staying at the apartment.
Actually, they say, let us have a last memory. So I guess it is a memory.
Yeah.
Of, I guess, early in their departure from the Legion, but after they've gotten both their kids back. Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad, they have 2 kids now. For a while, they had one. They didn't realize they had a second one who was a monster. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's confusing. Like, I think it's because as we read this, all the crap that the Luck Lords say, you just gloss over it because it's mostly meaningless.
Right.
And so when I got to this, I'm like, oh, this must be happening right now because it's when they're grown-ups and they have kids and they're raising their kids.
I think it's just here to show the status quo. Like, this is them yesterday.
But how does Luck factor into it, I wonder? Just that he is he's got his luck and it's going to run out. Is that what they're trying to say? Or he's unlucky because
they say enough. There's no answer here.
Yeah.
These guys are really incompetent.
Yeah. Well, and also like the creators, like, oh, let's show them something that has no consequence to the story.
Right.
But I guess I don't care.
Well, story-wise, it exists for a reason in the story. The justification for them looking at it doesn't make sense, but it exists to show us where he's at in his life.
Yeah, I guess if I was a new reader and I wanted to know the whole life history of Lightning Lad, like this guy back here on this page where they're talking about doing paperwork, I'm like, what's this dude been up to? And then I see this story where it doesn't even look like the same guy, but that's kind of how his life is now, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of too bad instead of when we get this final confrontation that you're about to flip to, instead of having him some contrivance for him to get back into costume and be at headquarters, if it was him walking his kids down the street when Lightning Lord shows up and he's in his civvies,
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess this is Saturn Girl's old costume. She doesn't quite have this. It's not quite the same anymore, right? Or is it? It's shiny now. It's a little different.
At some point, doesn't it go back to red?
I'm trying to think. I think originally it was this design, but it was red in the Adventure Comics days.
Right.
And then she has the swimsuit style, and then she has the Adventure era, but magenta like this. And I think that's kind of how it stays until she gets the Giffen makeover with like a jacket or a vest and a pantsuit kind of look or something.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess this is it. This is it's a period of time when Saturn Girl's full time with the Legion and Lightning Lad's a stay-at-home dad, but he's incompetent. He burns himself on their microwave.
Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what he's doing.
And his shirt has 1/2 of a collar. I don't know if this is meant to look like he's harried and one of his collar flaps is stuck out and the other one's tucked in the way it should be, or if the style is that your collar, instead of having 2 pieces in the front, only has 1 piece on the front.
It could be because he's got crap all over his face.
Yeah, but even before he gets the crap on it, the shirt looks like that.
Yeah. He needs to have more like vomit stains and food stains on his clothes, really, for this to be a convincing stay-at-home dad.
Well, I bet he has clothes that are actively resistant to any kind of mess.
Giffen excels at having like coffee stains and snot stains all over everything.
We'll get there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what we forgot to mention in this is that they're calling their son Validus in the Keith Giffen section.
I noticed that too.
I think they did that for a little bit. Like, I think the Beer Bombs is the ones who gave him an actual name that wasn't a supervillain.
Uh-huh. Wait. Answer this for me real quick because I can't remember. Remember they turned Validus back into a baby? Did they like prevent that from ever happening, or did all the things he did as Validus happen? Meaning, did their son, the little baby, did he kill Invisible Kid? Or did they stop it from ever happening? Do you remember?
They must have taken like the contemporary Validus and just revert him back into a kid. So everything he had done prior to that, he had done.
A little kid fucking murdered Invisible Kid. What the fuck?
All right, chapter 7. We're reaching the end of this thing. The planets have aligned for the last time. I guess the Luck Lords, this is their last chance before, I don't know, the planets aren't going to align again during Lightning Lad's life.
This is it.
Which is kind of weird because there's been 1, 2, 3, 4 points where the galaxy is aligned just the right way. And there's going to be one more and then not any ever again for 100 years or something, which doesn't really make any sense. Like they do it every 5 years and then never again for a long time.
In most of these, I don't think they even intervene. They're like, let's not do it this time. We fucked up last time.
Yeah, they really only do it.
We'll do it next time.
The first and second time, huh?
Right.
Well, and this current time, right? So 3 out of 6. 3 out of 6 ain't bad.
And when did they say they can't do it till the next century?
Oh, it's in the last page. They don't say either one of those things. What they say is...
Because they're right. We're right. We're almost at the next century. So it wouldn't be that long of a wait.
No, I think they just say that they're not going to get another chance until after he's dead. That's all. It says the convergence has ended, not to reoccur till the galaxies move their paths. The years are long, but luck is eternal and can wait. Not so mortals whose time must fade. Mm-hmm. So they're just saying that they're not going to get another chance to kill him because they can only kill him when the stars align the right way, and it won't happen until probably after he's dead. But maybe he's fated to live for a real long-ass time. We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. He should have been attacked by Lightning Lord when he's out with his kids instead of just out with his bros. And then we wouldn't have, he wouldn't have to do anything to like disable his other characters, you know?
Right.
Which
and
is
maybe
kind
it's
of
a little too obvious and sentimental, but it seems like there would be an obvious, like he looks over, he sees the kids.
Yeah.
Realizes he's gone too far, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah. And also like you could still have it ambiguous whether Lightning Lord, like in that scenario, you could have it ambiguous whether Lightning Lord like held back and decided not to kill him, or Lightning Lad successfully beat him and he maybe didn't give up and didn't go easy on him or something.
Right.
And in this comic, oh yeah, here's a sproing. Here's a Giffen sound effect on the Cosmic Boy. And a crack. Yeah, these Cthulhu, like all these silly sound effects, that's all Giffen stuff.
Yeah.
And this style, like this kind of animation almost of panel sequence, that's a Giffen thing.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know how well. It could have been executed a little better, but I like that shit's going on in the background.
Yeah. Oh, and this page on 54, like this face, this close-up of Lightning Lad, like that would have been a Giffen all-black face panel, maybe with some like sparkly eye lightning or something. You can see that. Yeah, anyway, this is just the big battle between the two brothers. And it wasn't really too clear to me, just reading it through the first time or reading it through today. This is not the first time I read it. It's not totally clear how Lad beats Lord in this scenario, because Lightning Lord puts these vests on Cosmic Boy and Saturn Girl that are highly conductive to the electricity power that Lightning Lad emits. It's not conducive to Lightning Lord's power, but to Lightning Lad's specific power. So he can't use his powers, is the idea. And so we think that since Lad can't use his powers, Lord is going to be able to zap the shit out of him real easy. But what happens is Lightning Lad runs up and grabs Lightning Lord's leg, and the battle ends.
Yeah, does Brainiac 5 explain it? Does he like somehow ground him? Or I don't know enough about electricity.
I don't think they explain it. I think the conclusion that I came to is that
he just yanked his leg and he fell. And
well, no, Lightning Lad is immune to Lightning Lord's electricity powers, so you can shoot him with the electricity, but it's not going to hurt him. And so if Lightning Lad gets hold of Lord and zaps him, it'll go right into him and stop him. And that must be what they're trying to tell me is happening.
I don't know. I mean,
or they short each other out and pass out.
He must be somewhat immune, I guess, but he's not completely immune because he's all bloodied after their fights, like at the end of the Cockrum fight. I mean, they'd be kind of boring fights if their electricity didn't work on each other.
That's true.
Or they would just end up, fisticuffs because their powers.
I guess what happens is that they just grab each other and short circuit.
Yeah.
It's that. I think I tried to make this joke in the last time these guys fought each other, like the GFCI power outlet. If it gets overloaded, the little fuse button pops.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you have your hairdryer and your curling iron plugged into the same thing, the little thing pops out. You're like, fuck, I thought my curling iron would be hot, and it's not because they turned off.
It's hard to get it back in.
Yeah, but I'd rather have that thing pop out than have to go outside to the fucking breaker box.
Yeah.
Mine's outside. God.
So like some killer could come and like just turn your lights out.
Well, like at my house, it always happens at night when like we have a space heater going on and we turn on the microwave by mistake and everything goes off. And it's also the fucking porch lights on the same circuit. So I got to find the flashlight so I can go outside and find the box. It's so annoying. And usually it's raining or it's ice cold outside or something,
Right.
Just never fails, Like the reason we have two space heaters going is because it's cold as fuck outside. I don't want to go out there in my socks to turn this stupid switch back on.
It's because you don't have a basement. It's probably why.
Well, how come they don't put the breaker box inside the house?
They do here. They put them in the basement.
I know, but like we could have it inside of, like in the back of a closet or something would be perfect.
We have some stuff like that on the outside of our house, but it's all locked up. We're not supposed to get into that.
Locked up, huh?
Yeah, it's got those super thin padlock things on that are only for, I think maybe...
No, that's like the cable or something.
Gas. I think it's gas.
Huh.
But our power box is in our basement. You need to get a basement.
I would love it. I got a crawl space, but man, that would be even more annoying than going outside to turn on that stupid switch.
In the Andy Griffith episode where the power went out when the killer was coming to his house, his breaker box was on his porch.
On his porch. Obviously, the writer of that episode does not know where circuit boxes go. Fuse boxes. Would have been a fuse box.
We'll have to watch the Aunt Bee freezer episode and see if it's consistent. Where she buys the freezer.
Yeah.
Sucking up all the electricity to keep all that meat that she bought.
I mean, there's no way it should have been on his porch. That's all I'm saying. There's a killer trying to kill him? I don't remember this one.
Oh, it's one of the best ones.
Well, I remember there's a couple of them where a killer's coming to see him, but I don't remember the electricity going out.
Well, if I remember right, I think like Barney turns the electricity out.
Oh.
To like try to ambush him or something like that. And then, of course, Andy turns the power back on, and like Barney and Gomer and Floyd or whoever, they've all got each other tied up.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Anyway, so
this is the last page of the comic.
The last two panels look like a meme.
Yeah, I love it. I love that last panel. So the stars have gone out of alignment. He's safe. The lightning lad's not gonna die. Whew. And I guess he's committed to not being a Legionnaire anymore. I guess maybe Paul Levitz wanted us to think maybe he would become a Legionnaire again too in this comic. He'd either die or become a Legionnaire. Neither of those things come to pass. I didn't expect either of them to happen, I guess. Like nothing put that in my mind.
See, everything I saw about this just made me think that like, this is going to be like their final battle, which in a way it is. But
wait, you actually feel that was what this comic was about, being their final battle?
Maybe I need to reread that comic scene thing, but I thought this was going to be the final showdown between these two guys. Like they brought Lightning Lad back for the final showdown.
Yeah.
Now I didn't know how it was going to end, but I thought maybe it meant like Lightning Lord would probably die or something like that, I guess.
I could see that being what this comic is about. But like it's not told in a smooth enough way for you to get that, you know? Like maybe the blurb in the Direct Currents magazine thing says final showdown of these two guys.
Right.
Or in the teaser in the letter column of the previous issue says something like that. But like I start reading this and like nothing is implying to me that this is the final showdown of these guys. It just seems like another showdown of these guys.
Right.
You know?
And in fact, there's very little difference between the final showdown here and like the Cochran showdown.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cochran one is drawn better. But.
Right. And that's why I thought that was it. That's what that was going to be the showdown that we saw.
Right.
Like when I got to it. Because they look exactly the same. There's nothing to differentiate them from the modern day and the Cochran version or era, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's just really sloppy and really disjointed or something. And I don't know if it's because, like, is Levitz on autopilot? Is it the weird, like, vignette, different artist thing that causes the confusion? Is it because Giffen plotted half of it and Levitz plotted the rest of it or something? It doesn't make any sense. It's such a wishy-washy kind of incoherent thing, you know?
Yeah, it's happened I feel like I've encountered this with his writing a few times. It's like he sets some high stakes and he has a good idea, but like it's like he loses his nerve when he gets towards the end and he walks it back.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to follow through.
Yeah, why doesn't he want to? Like, this is your comic book, Paul. No one else is working on it.
Right.
Like, no one's going to... I mean, maybe that's what he thinks. Like, he thinks that people are going to be so pissed
Right.
And if he does some shit, it's set in stone and you can't undo it.
Right.
But like...
Yeah, like had he decided to kill either of these guys or both of them, it's not like he can bring him back 2 issues later.
Yeah, and it just makes it more boring if it's like, hey, and Lightning Lad's back in this kind of character limbo again, where we last saw him. Pretty exciting, huh, guys?
Right.
Oh, boy.
And I guess in some ways, like in comics, you have to create the illusion of change without changing things too significantly. But you end this issue in the exact same place you started it. Like, this issue is completely disposable. Nothing happens in here that progresses the story in any way, shape, or form, or even is the illusion of progress. There's nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, like, the counter to that is that, oh, this is an anniversary issue. We just want to, you know, like, we trotted out these old timer artists to impress the longtime fans. We wanted to spotlight Lightning Lad, even though he's not really a member of the team and nobody sees him anymore.
Right.
But yeah, like, no, you had an opportunity to do a pretty cool story. And if these guys aren't in the comic ever anymore, like, yeah, you can do the cool final battle. Especially if you let Lightning Lad live, you can always bring him back, you know? I don't know.
I mean, 300 is structured almost the exact same way. But at the end, even if I don't personally like that he wiped out Shooter's future, he did do that. So there is some change. Something happened in that issue.
Right. And it has a mystery element that that's actually kind of challenging and interesting in a way that this doesn't have, you know, like these Luck Lords guys, they're so annoying. What they say is so pointless. And also the sort of implication of the Magic Wars at the beginning, like, is that supposed to actually be foreshadowing the Magic Wars thing, or is it something else? Why did they even do this, you know?
Right.
Like, if they wanted to say that the death of Lightning Lad caused the Magic Wars to happen in 12 issues from now, that might have been kind of cool. But they didn't do that.
Right.
I mean, they didn't kill him. And then they still didn't have that, and they still had the Magic Wars, you know? So, like, was there somebody else who was also the linchpin that got killed? Like, was it fucking Emerald Empress or somebody? You know, I just don't get it. Yeah, it's like he had a half a dozen ideas. Half of those had good potential, but he didn't follow through on any of them.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just kind of
I
a bummer.
wonder. I'd like to know more about. Maybe I'll look into it before we jump to 5 years to next week's. I mean, part of the reason I thought about doing this, one, is because this is the last time we see Lightning Lord until 5 years later, and I think he's featured more heavily in the issue we're about to do than he has been up until then.
Oh yeah,
and he's even on the cover.
Right.
Is that Giffen correcting a mistake? Is that where Giffen wanted it to go, or was that one of the beer bombs that did that?
Did what? Like the rehabilitated
Reformed
version?
Right. Like, did Giffen help start this, and then Levitz walked it back? Like, maybe Giffen wasn't involved all the way through?
Like, I feel like that about all kinds of stuff that happens in these Baxter issues that you can kind of see the continuation of. And it's like, you know, was Giffen plotting these or co-plotting these? And he's ready to go all the way. And Levitz is like, nah, maybe not. Let's wait on that. Or, you know, like, he's really into the holding pattern and telling the story over the long game. And then the long game is like the fucking Invisible Kid, a resolution, you know?
Right. And because he's not officially working on the book, he probably doesn't have the pull he'd have. He can't really contest what Levitz ultimately does with his plot suggestions in the way he would if he was drawing the thing.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like maybe if Giffen is doing much of this stuff, or if he has a hand in the plotting, it's because he's trying to coax Levitz into setting up certain stuff for when Giffen comes back in issue 50.
Right.
Like, he's not, like, they're so far in advance of 5 years later, number one. Anything Giffen is doing in whatever, in like, I don't know when he starts, maybe in like 37 or something, in the Death of Superboy is kind of when Giffen starts, you can see his hand maybe. Maybe it's because he knows he's coming back in 50 and he just wants to set up some stuff for himself. And Levitz is like, okay. But Levitz is still in charge and still not going to do.
Right.
And also, I think they just aren't like communicating quite right or something. I don't know.
Right.
It's just so sloppy and so bad.
Well, this is for sure the last time we'll ever talk about this issue.
I hope so.
In a weird way, we've reviewed it 3 times.
3 times?
Twice on the show. And then we were kind of going through these on
Twitter. Yeah, on Twitter, yeah. Yeah, I found the thread for this one on the other day or yesterday.
I should have looked for it. I listened to our super talk about it to make sure I didn't repeat myself too much.
Oh.
I probably still did anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea what we talked about on that. It was maybe a better conversation than actually going through the comic because we were talking about the letters pages. We were talking about the fan response to this comic.
Well, we actually read, I think, every single letter in it, like verbatim, and then commented on it, which we rarely do now.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Sounds boring.
It's all right. It's good at 2x.
Oh, yeah. There's a big pinup at the end. I noticed on, I looked at this on Read Comic Online, and their source must be like the ebook or Comixology kind of version of this.
Okay.
But then if you look at DC Universe Infinite, they have a different version, which looks a little bit more like the scanned version of this comic or something. But you see how this little band of white is here on the top of the Mon-El page. They filled that in with the purple background color on the Comixology one, but then it's present on the DC Universe Infinite website.
I think I like the white band. I guess I don't know why it's there.
It seems like a mistake
anywhere else. Yeah. But you have like white running along the bottom, and then you have white along the top. It's like a violet stripe running to the back. But yeah, it has to be a mistake because, on the other side of Dawnstar, it doesn't continue.
Maybe it's like a Dawnstar like speed line.
Oh, yeah.
But they all look real grim on this, huh? Like, remember the 300, Legion 300 group photo? And they're all like smiley and silly, and all the substitute heroes are there and stuff. And here everybody's like real bummed out, and nobody even died in this, you know.
I like how old Brainiac 5 looks though.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a dad bod
gut kind of. Yeah. Saturn Girl looks very intense.
Saturn Girl? No, she's not even here.
She is.
Oh, way in the back, huh?
I feel like LaRocque did a lot of this in his run. Like he's trying to kill pages or something.
Well, this is silly. Like it's, like the story ends on page 57 where the Luck Lords are like, we're done. We're not going to try and kill Lightning Lad anymore. And then the last 2 pages is this big group photo that's not part of the story. Last time we saw all the Legionnaires in this issue, they were hanging out in headquarters talking about going to the zoo with the nieces and nephews and playing shuffleboard or whatever they're doing.
Twister.
And now they're all like really serious, and they're all out in a wasteland. And the caption says, "To the real Legionnaires, our fans." It's just a pinup, but it's so grave for a pinup. But they could have used these 2 pages to finish off the story in those ways that we've been talking about to kind of make the payoff a little bit more dramatic or interesting or something.
Definitely.
But that's the Baxter Legion for you.
The hell's White Witch? Is that a dress, or she's sitting on?
I think she's floating cross-legged.
She has like some white energy shooting out of her ass. It's sort of.
Oh, I think she has. It's kind of like a dress. It could be. It looks almost like she's sitting on some kind of flying saucer or something.
Oh, you think it's okay? So we're kind of looking up her skirt. Yeah,
I think so. I thought the Phantom Girl drawing here was pretty good. Like when comics.org told me that falsely told me that Dick Giordano drew this, and I was like, there's no indication that this was a Dick Giordano drawing, except maybe the pose of Phantom Girl kind of has this more kind of relaxed, natural kind of posing to it.
Yes. I guess I didn't realize she hung on to this costume that long. It kind of seems out of place. I know it's probably her most popular costume, but it seems weird that she has it in 86.
Yeah, she only ever had 2 costumes, right? Like she only had like the all white with the little cape and then this, right? I don't think she ever had an intermediate one. And maybe a lot of them didn't.
Honestly, I love the original. I know people prefer the bell bottoms, but I like the big ass P.
Speaking of big ass P, I gotta go.
You gotta take a big ass P.
I think I like this one. I like the pigtails, and I like the little holes in her shirt, and the bell bottoms. I'm a fan of this second costume.
She needs an updated look there. I think I can't remember, but isn't the look she gets after this the one that it sort of carries over into Legion 89? Like it's similar.
Yeah, she has kind of like a smock or kind of a half shirt type of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think she gets the shoulder pads look like all the other guys when Giffen redesigns the costumes. Yeah. She gets Zipatone dot screen hair. This is her big change.
Yeah.
And that does not carry over into the 5 years later or the Legion 90 type of look.
It did. Didn't she? She kind of has bangs, and the center is the Zipatone gray, right?
Right. But I don't.
It does carry on.
Really? I guess I couldn't remember it
in Legion 89.
Yeah, I don't remember it looking that way, but I also have not read most of those or any. I've only read the first issue, and I don't know, the one that Giffen drew way later, that weird one.
All right, let's go.
Break. What? Oh, well, we're done with the comic.
Oh.
We say this was the anniversary, the giant 30th anniversary issue of Legion of Superheroes from 1988.
The last anniversary issue.
Oh, we don't celebrate anniversaries anymore after this. Huh?
There will be no 35th.
Fuck. Well, we just passed a 65th anniversary.
Yeah. Are we?
2018 was 65?
Are they at the same? Are they exactly 20 years younger than Superman? Do that like their anniversaries run in tandem?
Well, wait, is Adventure Comics 247? Is that from?
Is it 58?
Look here. It's on the back of this flyer. Has a cover 247. Oh, but it doesn't say the year. 1958 April is what it says. Yeah, so 20 years younger than Superman.
It's crazy.
So 2023 would have been their 65th year of existence. Seems like they would have given us a nice reprint of Adventure 247 or a nice trade paperback overview or a new series or something. No, passed without acknowledgement.
Well, dig this. So this is the 30th anniversary. But how long ago was this? More than 30 years, right?
35 years ago.
So this is the 35th anniversary of the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, wow.
We're fucking old.
If you still want to know more about the 30th century and aren't quite ready to try reading the Legion every month, take a look at the 2 source books published by Mayfair Games. They include lists of worlds, characters, and background of the whole 30th century universe. But the best way to learn is to jump in. You're certain to get it figured out before the Legion's 40th anniversary issue.